Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, June 13th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. Also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. And then before I get started, if you do have a request for me to do one in a future video, just leave that down in the comment section and I'll do my best to get to it. So a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, DDC, and overall, good solid mover. Now, there is a little bit of perspective that goes into this. What do I mean? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, or you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well, then from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad because, yeah, there's no doubt about it. The price did pull back today and has a decent sized pullback that's been occurring. So there's just mapping out the top part of the pullback and then map out the bottom part of the pullback right there. Change that to green because that is technically a level of support. So you do have this downwards channel. Now, assuming you care about the big picture point of view, then you're going to say, well, sure, Clay, fair enough. It did. There is a pullback right now. That is completely accurate, completely fair. But because I care about the big picture, well, what was happening before this downwards channel? Well, there's this huge upward surge right here, which is now giving me the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. Again, I'm fully aware that if you're a day trader and you bought up here, you don't care about the bull flag pattern. But if you do care about the bigger picture, or you're someone that like bull flag patterns, then definitely keep an eye on it. So yeah, DDC right now, easiest way to summarize this one would be 30-minute time frame, bull flag pattern. Next one, ticker symbol GDHG, and a very, very rough mover today. I mean, started very strong, nasty, nasty move. But this action right here is what makes it very interesting because it has finally started to go sideways. Now, don't get me wrong, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. But just because the price, after getting absolutely beat down, has started to go sideways, does not mean that for sure guaranteed this thing is going to pop back upwards. Now, my point here is it becomes a lot more logical at this point in time. Case in point, let's just say that the price, was still just dropping. I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be a bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally still just going straight down. But that's not the case here, right? The price has at least started to go sideways. So again, guaranteed bottom? Absolutely not. But it sure makes a whole lot more sense. And especially on these, price range penny stocks, these things can sometimes get a really nice secondary push. So really, it's as straightforward as that. If this is going to be some sort of bottom, well, then you definitely want to just see at least it maintain itself by staying above the 20.5 cent mark. And then key area of resistance, if there is any sort of upwards bounce in my mind, right up there around 0.233. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, nasty pullback, got some sideways movement. Is this some sort of bottom? If you like penny stocks and these sorts of circumstances, keep an eye on it. Next one, GME, and overall, very, very disappointing day. And as I speak right now, very disappointing in the last 30 minutes because, like I said, that's why I like to do these when the market's still open. You can see this thing is essentially pushing down to new lows on the day. And it hasn't quite done it yet, but it's getting very, very close. And the line that I would argue definitely needs to be avoided and you want to see avoid is down there at 22.80. And why is that level important? Well, and I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price were to come down to that area, what would that be symbolizing? Well, that would quite literally be symbolizing that the price is right back to where it started. Or in other words, that would be telling you that the price made a great move up and then came right back down. Not exactly a sign of genuine strength. But now if the price can stay above that pink line, that would be the ideal situation, which is a 200 period moving average. But definitely 2280 is by far an absolute must-hold level as far as supports are concerned. In terms of areas of resistance, pretty nasty, steep trend line right there right now in motion, so keep an eye on that. But in my opinion, at least, the most important dynamic is if the price can stay above 2280 or not. Next one, NVDA, and I like this because NVDA, I think everybody's heard of this one at this point in time. So very popular stock in a much lower price range now after the forward split. And now we have a very well-defined pattern. So as I draw this pattern, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is some sort of great skill. A lot of people are doing this. And I say all that because when a lot of people are drawing the same pattern, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can produce some very dynamic movements, especially, like I said, when you have a stock like this that you got to think so many people are indeed watching. So change that to sport. And I've already talked about this once. Well, a little bit different, but let's keep it the same color so we can make it easier to see. So resistance, support, nice move up. Now this is not technically a bull flag. It's called a bull pennant to make it a little bit more visual for you golfers out there. Put the golf hole down there, and hopefully you can see here the bull pennant pattern. So no guarantees, but certainly very plausible that if the price can come up here and get a break up through that level right there, that break in of itself could generate additional buying pressure. So if you like very popular stocks with well-defined patterns such as bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on NVIDIA. Next one, BMR, and yeah, brutal last 30 minutes. It had been doing a fantastic job of going sideways here. In fact, got a little bit of an ascending triangle, but that ascending triangle has officially been broken and violated, so no longer in play as the price is broken through there. But there is a secondary play now, especially if you like to play those situations where you pretty much assume everybody's given up, everybody's waving the white flag, this is the worst stock ever, I can't believe this thing is garbage, and have the most negative attitudes. I guess I didn't need that because we have still a little bit of ways, but a couple of key moving averages getting both very close to one another. You have the pink line 200 period moving average, purple line 50 period moving average, again, both very well-known moving averages. So there is a bit of those self-fulfilling prophecy attributes that pertain to them. And again, they're both very close to one another. So does that mean that if the price gets a little bit more ugly, if people get a little bit more discouraged and come out down here, that'll for sure bounce? No for sure. But if that were to happen and then you do get a bounce, that would just be a tactical pattern, classic right there, where people have abandoned ship, and they're abandoning ship at the very last moment. I mean, have you ever been there before? You sell, and then the price goes in your favor, and you're like, figures, as soon as I sell, now the price goes in my favor. That's one of those locations where, it could very possibly happen. So if you like these, what I like to call opportunity in the ugly type circumstances, keep an eye on this, because no doubt about it, ugly pullback, but can it get a bounce from those moving averages? It's certainly an interesting situation. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the page there that you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the class. It is a genuine live class, so bring your questions, and I'd be happy to discuss them face-to-face with you. Next one, ticker symbol LGVN, and another nice mover here, especially this afternoon. There's a bit of a pullback right there, but you can see got the break to the upside, so that's some good stuff right there. But really the main dynamic here that I'm most curious and interested in is this general area right here of resistance I'm going to just try to find a middle ground, call it 185. And I say middle ground because, yes, I realized a couple times here, didn't quite hit it, and then a couple times here, actually went up above it. So middle ground, key area of resistance that I'm going to just go with is $1.85. So keep an eye on that as that main battleground. And then in terms of areas of support, if there is any sort of pullback, main area of support to watch, going to be right down there at that area at, we'll call it $1.35. You can see just a beautiful consolidation. Actually, right there, it was previous support, and then found some more buyers right there. So it's really as straightforward as that. I think the most interesting dynamic right now, given the price is much closer to that level right there, is can the price get the break of $1.85 on Thursday? We'll see what happens. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and wow, what a turnaround after a very rough looking day. The bulls got a big surge of strength, and not just because it was green, but from a technical point of view, just as a quick recap, blasted through that area of resistance, blasted through that area of resistance, the 50 period moving average, blasted through that area of resistance, the 200 period moving average. So I mean, it broke through 3 very significant levels of resistance in the same day. So yes, very strong day. Still more work that needs to be done, but either way, you look at it, very strong movement. I'm going to just get those lines out of there. And in all actuality, right now we have essentially a bull pennant pattern, which I know you've heard of, so I'm just going to draw this very crudely. So we have the top right there. We have that pullback area, or that little kind of bottom portion right there. You have the big surge up, and I guess I'll stand corrected, more of a bull flag pattern. Now, if that's a little too messy for you and you just want more clean-cut areas of support, very straightforward. Ideally speaking, in terms of what would make the chart look the strongest, would be if the price can stay above the pink line there, the 200 period moving average. If the price does drop down below it, next key area of support after that would then be that 50 period moving average, valued at 174.90. And then in terms of areas of resistance, very straightforward. Really just a question of where did the party stop today, and just to give you a little bit more context here. But party stopped today right up there at 180.60, so that'll be the main battleground to watch moving forward. But like I said, all things considered, very impressive day here for Tesla. Next, MARA, and overall has held up very nicely after getting beat down. And when you factor in the price movement from Tuesday right here, you can see that was a very nice day. So today wasn't as explosive, but still good, healthy move. It's maintaining its gains. So let's just map out a couple of the key levels. And the first level that really stands out right here at the $21 mark. So 21, nothing fancy there. You can see back here, it was an area of resistance, and then fast forward to today, and it was a resistance a couple more times right there. And then in terms of areas of support, I think the easiest way to just look at this one is to use that purple line. 50 period moving average right now valued at 1975. So like I said, the most important dynamic is really twofold. First off, that it just simply showed signs of strength, which really occurred yesterday. But the big dynamic today was that it at least maintained it. It's not like it went up and then all of a sudden it just gave all back its gains. So today, not necessarily explosive, but it held those gains, which is sometimes way more important than anything else. But let's see if the momentum continues into Thursday. Next one here, AAPL, and another monster move for Apple, which doesn't really move that fast nowadays, but the past couple of days have been just monstrous. And even as I speak right now, in the reverse way, very, very deep pullback here. As I speak, last 30 minutes, I mean, it actually started with that candle, but the final 30 minutes represented by that candle, you can see very, very deep pullback, and is now essentially entered into basically a no man's land. And I say that because the next area of support, not until that breakout area down there, which I understand is very far away, but that just illustrates how big of a breakout it actually was. And that's always the catch-22. When you get these monster breakouts, it does create bigger spaces between areas of support. Now, I'm not saying the price is going to go down to 207.30. I'm just saying, technically speaking, that would be the next level to watch. In the event the price does try to turn itself back around, first initial level that I'd keep an eye on right here at the 218.50 mark. And then, yes, of course, the highs. But I'm more curious about 218.15 and seeing if it can break above there. But as of right now, a lot of profit takers have stepped in. You can see that via the big volume bar right there. And then, yes, big red candle. So does this pullback get even nastier on Thursday? We'll see what happens. Next one, TQQQ, big movement today. And yeah, the Fed made their announcements. There is inflation data out. So all sorts of stuff happened today. And now what I'm actually super curious about is if you can just ignore that spike right there. Check out this trend line that can be drawn right there. Beautiful, beautiful trend line. And in my mind, that's going to be the main resistance level headed into Thursday. Yes, it's not inaccurate to call that level up there an area of resistance. But in terms of kind of what I would say is the main dynamic, main resistance, I think it's all about that trend line right there, which you can see right here. Price is once again getting very close. Market closes in 3 minutes, so I doubt the price is going to break above there by then. But I suppose you never know. But you would know by the time you watch this. You can check and see if the price is still above that red line or below that red line or not. And then in terms of areas of support, first key level to keep an eye on right down here at that pullback area of 70.70. And then just from the bigger picture overarching standpoint, just watch the purple line down here, the 50 period moving average, and as that line moves itself higher and higher, it's essentially like a trend line that's drawn itself for you. But all things considered, very nice day. Now it's all about, can the price break above that resistance line? We'll see what happens. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders, again, if you like what you saw here and want to learn more about this tool, go get signed up. It'll be very soon, Thursday, June 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. We are now looking at the 4-hour time frame. So each one of these represents 4 hours, not 30 minutes. And that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So I want this video to remain relevant for as long as possible in terms of the analysis here. But wow, what a crazy past essentially 8 hours. I mean, big, huge 4-hour green session followed by this big old nasty 4-hour session to the downside. So prices all over the place. But really, in all actuality, it's pretty straightforward from an analysis standpoint. And I'm just going to operate on the assumption you're watching this video 15, 20 hours from now. So really, you just got to take an inventory check. Where is the price at relative to the sideways channel, which is mapped out by these two areas here. So question number one, ask yourself, where is the price at relative to 66,100? As long as you're answering the question that the price is above there, then there's nothing too bearish going on, meaning there's no bearish breakdown or anything of that nature. On the flip side, if you're saying, well, yes, Clay, the price is above 66,100. Okay, well, where's the price at relative to the top part of the channel at 70,200? If you're saying that the price is still down below there, so in other words, you're answering the question that the price is below there, but it is up above there, well, then you just have essentially some sort, you could just use the word consolidation, because that would imply that the price is chopping back and forth between those two areas. Now, in the event you answer the question anyway, so example, the price is down below here, well, that's a bearish situation. How bearish? Well, how far down below that level is it? Flip side is true here. If you're saying, well, actually the price is above there, that is a bullish situation. How bullish? Well, how far up above the price is it? The further up above, the more bullish the situation. But that's really the key dynamic right now, I think, to kind of cut through all this drama is, all right, let's see which way the price is ultimately going to respect in terms of this current sideways channel. So check the sideways channel, and that'll be the best way to keep, the current analysis relevant for as long as possible. So as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader, because what you're learning about in this class can and definitely should be used within your trading also. So go get signed up for the class. It'll be Thursday, June 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, it is live, so bring your questions, and we will definitely discuss them, and hopefully all do some learning together. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, do a couple things for me. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching for tomorrow, and like I said also, if you have a request for one for a future video, be sure to leave that down below. So go get signed up for that free class. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.